seen this I'm always a little mean to men thing. It's like, I'm always a little mean to men because if you treat them like they're human, they'll want to sleep with you. It's so creative. It's basically everyone just posting their own thirst traps with the exact same caption every time. Well,
Ali had actually some really good points in her video, but I want to talk about specifically the comment section, but I want to emphasize that I do agree that sexism goes both ways, and it is our responsibility as the next generation to not perpetuate semantic bullshit. And I also want to make it clear that I'm not defending men here, I'm not defending women here, because fundamentally, if you're defending either side, you have to be very well versed and educated in the history and the semantics that goes into it in our current day and age. Personally, for me, being raised a woman, being in the healthcare field, surrounded by very strong, capable women, I understand how privileged I am as a man to be a man, because that comes with both the safety and the unintended privileges that I get in society. And we're starting off with literally what I just said. The common courtesy leads to unwanted advances from men that refuse to take no for an answer. We have to understand that while this is just a small group of men in the grand scheme of things that's being, vocalized and publicized by social media, making them perpetually bigger than the majority, it has to be made clear that this issue has been systemic for the last few decades, even before I was born. So we have to understand the history behind it and understand that women are disproportionately impacted by this kind of statement. It is not just a current thing. It is something that has happened and is still happening, that's translated from decades ago even till now. Does it happen less than now? That depends on where you look. And I am of the mindset that regardless of gender, you should treat everyone how you want to be treated as a human being. But we can't disregard the fact that there is still sexism and gender inequality in our society, because everyone wants to be better, but no one wants to be better, because it's easier to make fun, to perpetuate, than it is to actually change, because it means calling out everything that you are and have been raised on, because sometimes how we were raised, how we were taught to be, is no longer up to date with the current generation, and it is inherently detrimental to the growth of our society and to the equality of both men and women in this world. Instead of trying to prove a point, instead of trying to put down the other people, the other group, I think it should be a common goal to educate ourselves and to move forward as a collective without perpetuating any kind of, again, semantic bullshit that has happened in the past. And while I do understand that this is going to require a lot of conversations and a lot of work, it has to start now with us, because our generation is probably the fastest evolving one when it comes to understanding information and action. Social media right now can even transcend jobs, because people can get fired for some of the rhetoric that they're putting online. So now is probably the best time to have these kinds of conversations, to not necessarily perpetuate it with some petty trends. Because in reality, if you take part in these kinds of trends, these petty trends that just takes a jab at either gender, you are digging the hole deeper than you could ever imagine.